Alrighty, we are back. We've had some fun this morning substituting in here for BKP. What's the weather supposed to be today?
I think cloudy and cool.
Cloudy and cool up here in the mountains. You've got your in-laws in town for a little while, your sister-in-law and her husband,
Right.
good friends.
Mm-hmm.
He's with us today in studio, so we'll get his take on how we did this morning. We got
Indeed.
We've got some friends out there listening.
I'm sure Barbara and Judy are watching.
Yeah, right. The name that I was trying to think of by our crack research department was delivered on cue by Ross, and that person would be Glenn Beck. I think Glenn Beck would be a perfect candidate to come up, with his whiteboard that he always does and chart some of these politicians. And I agree with you. Let's start with AOC and see what happens with AOC. Let's start with the whole squad.
Yeah.
The Clod Squad, Ilhan Omar,
Diana Presley. And,
the Presley and
Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those four. Let's just see where how they fare in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Jane, our friend and colleague on Friday, tells me that Tulsi Gabbard is being funded as a candidate by Podesta.
John Podesta?
John Podesta, $300,000 to her campaign.
Wow.
Yeah. So these just don't take anything that we say as gospel. Go check it out yourself. All we're doing is pointing out some of the things that we found that just seem a little fishy.
Did they take it as Proverbs?
What? Blessed are the meek. They should inherit a lot of money if they're in office.
Indeed.
You had a great list of coincidences,
Mm-hmm.
and who's married to whom, and how this affects the mainstream media and the spin that they can that this talent, alleged talent, can put on the air.
Well, we've talked about this before. Years and years now we've talked about this. Alinsky's rules for radicals. You tell an untruth enough times, people believe it.
Exactly.
And so the Ministry of Propaganda, the news media, for the most part, NBC, ABC, CBS, and all their little joint venture companies, they say the same untruths, and so for a lot of people, that's where they get their news. One of those channels is their favorite. And that's what they hear day in, day out, and they just get pounded with that. And after a while, they go, hey, it's got to be true.
You mean something like, if you like your health care, you can keep your health care.
Exactly.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
And that's what I'd say to Elizabeth Warren. Okay, you're going to break up all these large corporations. She gets that in every stump speech she has. What are you going to do with the people that are out of jobs because of this?
Well, they'll find other jobs in the auto insurance or car insurance.
Oh, the same.
I think they're one and the same, Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's just these candidates' grasp of how economics and finance work in this country is astoundingly dumb. It's amazing these people can even consider themselves contenders for the highest job
office in the land. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, they're just tone deaf. They're totally tone deaf, and they don't know what they're talking about.
We haven't mentioned a word about Bernie Sanders.
Oh, jeez.
Bernie Sanders. The DNC last time he ran changed the whole picture on him.
Big supporter of Cuba. A honeymoon in Russia.
Yeah.
There's some nice things in Russia, but you'd pick some other nicer places to go. Do you think on your honeymoon? But hey.
Perfect example. Take a look
communist.
at the net worth of Bernie Sanders. How many homes does he have?
3.
How many books has he written?
I don't know.
How much money is he making off of that propaganda that he's spewing?
Yeah.
People are making a lot of side money doing what we thought was the work of the people.
Mm-hmm.
You had that great list that you brought up before. There's another piece of information out there, and I won't bore you with all the details, but there's so much about this whistleblower that allegedly goes by the name of Charmella. He worked with hyper-partisan Ukraine-American lawyer and activist Alexandra Chalupa in 2016 to dig up dirt on Trump. Chalupa's name will become very familiar as this whole scandal unravels.
They might have to take it off the Mexican menus. Just saying.
I like the chalupa with sour cream on the side. That's for my friend Suzanne. The pro-Hillary Chalupa, a former DNC contractor, has worked in the Clinton administration, held various staff positions for Democratic lawyers. Documents confirm the DNC opposition researcher attended at least one White House meeting with Charmella in November 2015. Federal records show that Biden's office invited Charmella, the alleged whistleblower, to a 2016 October state luncheon the vice president hosted for Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi. Other invited guests include, ready drum roll,
John Brennan,
as well as the then FBI Director James Comey, and then National Intelligence Director James Clapper, all at the same meeting with Charmella. Several U.S. officials told RCI that's the outfit that wrote this article. The invitation was extended to Charmella, a relatively low-level GS-13 federal employee, which was highly unusual and signaled he was politically connected to all of those operatives in the Obama White House. That, according to Red State.
Nothing like having a low-level GS-13 be your mole. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that goes on. I mean, it's just an abomination.
I believe firmly that he got that information from Vindman. Vindman was the original guy on the call. He was highly suspect of the way the call went. And he contacted Schiff's
Disturbed
office.
by the innuendo.
Yeah. Then he went around the corner, which is typical the way the CIA works. He went around the corner, fed the information to this operative, Charmella, who then labeled himself a whistleblower. Then Vindman, in typical CIA style, could say that, yes, that is correct into what he's asserting, even though that assertion originally came from Vindman.
It sounds like what Comey did with his friend, the professor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's typical of how those groups operate. And I forget the name of it, but it starts with one on the outside and comes full circle, and then verified by the guy that it was started it. Vindman, Charmella. Those are the two. Watch it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and they always go, well, I heard it from 2 or 3 reliable sources. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically a big feedback loop. They start it, and they get it back, and it's like, oh, it's validated. Here we go.
Yeah. If anybody wants to participate in the Marine Corps Ball, you can purchase tickets at Folger Gas. Pete Folger and his family and a lot of his sons are former Marines, and you've been once.
Once, yeah. We were traveling last year. So
yeah, it's a really, really cool ceremony. I mean, to see all of this Marine Corps League in the North Georgia area, very, very well attended. There's they do a solemn service every year for the celebration of the birthday of the Marines. It's always close to Veterans Day, which will be next Monday, November 11th. We will make sure that we honor the veterans, not only on the 11th, but every day. Every time you see a veteran, thank them for their service, because they have laid their life on the line so that we could enjoy the freedoms that we so graciously enjoy every day.
Yeah, and also, a day for remembering, the veterans who have already gone on to a greater reward. So,
right.
Yeah.
The Gold Star families reach out, and like I say, just don't celebrate Veterans Day just on the Monday of the 11th. Think of the Veterans Day as every day, and thank those people for the service that they've provided.
Exactly.
So if you want to go to that celebration, it's the Marine Corps Ball, the birthday bash. They have a huge cake that comes out. They cut the cake with a sword. They open the champagne bottle. It's
Savoring.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's some people call it a lot of pomp and circumstance. It's tradition,
Yep.
and there isn't a branch of service that is more in tune with tradition than the Marine Corps. So we take great pride in supporting that group.
And look forward to it. And they also, coincidentally, at the same event, they build up their inventory for Toys for Tots.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, exactly. Huge Toys for Tots opportunity. There's restaurants in Blue Ridge that they're hosting Toys for Tots dinner.
Trio being one.
Trio, yeah, the Marine Corps also does the Toys for Tots. They need gifts for the 9 to 13-year-olds. That's the biggest need. So any unwrapped toy, no clothing, none of that. Any unwrapped toy, game, electronic piece, bicycles that you can provide.
Sports stuff, action figures,
Yeah,
bikes, trikes,
exactly.
yeah, wagons.
There will be bins around Blue Ridge and the surrounding counties. The Marine Corps, the League, they do so much to make sure that these families can enjoy, like I said, some of the gifts that we take for granted, quite frankly.
Indeed.
So,
it's a very worthwhile effort. Everyone should participate if they can.
Yeah, I mean, if they just one toy, whether you pull it from the tree and don't tell your grandkids that, well, I had this for you, but I gave it to Toys for Tots. Like you said, I think it's a great cause. What else do we got here? We're hopeful that Jerry Pritchard is successful in his attempt at winning the Lehigh Valley Township Supervisor role.
Supervisor.
Yeah. Lee and Brian are out there campaigning on his behalf. Brian said they get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they get right to the edge where the pollster says, you can't come past this line and campaign. Mm-hmm. So they all vie for right on that edge, so they can give those campaign flyers and everything out to all of their folks.
Yeah, we hope that certainly. I think Matt Bevin in Kentucky running for governor. That'll be a very interesting race. And
I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of that last night.
I didn't either, but I know that's a tight race, and Trump has supported him and endorsed him, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays. And
23,500 people was the capacity of Rupp Arena.
And they filled it?
They filled it.
Well, again, Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana, there's some elections also in New Jersey that'll be interesting to watch. So, yeah, there's some interesting things to see how it unfolds today. If you
have races in your area, get out and vote, folks.
Indeed.
I know that this isn't a huge election for a lot of people, but the people that are running, they gave it their heart, they gave it their soul, they want to win, they want your vote. Get out there and support if you've got a candidate in the race and they're in your district. Get out and vote. Get to the polls. Make your voice heard, make your vote count. We've got a big race coming up in big commissioner's race coming up in Fannin County. Qualifying will be in March, and the
election in May or June.
The vote will be in May.
Okay.
For the party candidate of the Republican side.
Okay.
If there is no independent or Democrat opposition, then that candidate will be
the commissioner.
Yeah.
Not around the commission.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we've got the incumbent Stan Helton will be running. We have two former post-commission one former post commission, and Larry Joe Sosby. We've got one former commission chair in Bill Simons,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a new candidate, Jamie Hensley. So those are the candidates. That's the candidate slate to date for the chair position. So that's going to be an extremely interesting race. We hope everybody pays attention and turns out for that race as well.
Any polls on that yet?
No.
Okay.
I did get a Facebook. Someone sent me a screenshot that in Fannin County this weekend on Saturday, and you can look this up for the exact time, but there will be an open house at Animal Control. Animal Control, as most people know that follow this, has been in the news big time. There's some detractors, there's some supporters. Animal Control it's a tough job. It's a tough job, folks, to make sure that the animals in the county are taken care of, and they're opening their doors after a lot of renovation, cleanup, fencing. They're opening their doors to the public. So, if you support the Animal Control, if you support the different pet adoption agencies, go out there and see it. Go out there and see it firsthand. What that first level of Animal Control does. Ask questions. Don't just assume that what you're seeing on Facebook or what you're hearing on the street is gospel. Go look for yourself, make your own judgment, and get in there and help if you want. If you've got any spare time, these dogs would love to have someone come and spend some time with them and walk the dogs. I mean, that's how these dogs get exercise. There's a great volunteer base that goes out to the shelter a lot of times on a weekly basis, and those people are to be appreciated. So if you're interested in that part of the political machine, get out there and take a look and form your own.
Okay.
What you got?
I got a few like just odds and ends.
Alrighty, go for it, man.
Paris Climate Accord. Whenever you get these big UN EC things, the whole world is watching, and they have so many rules and regulations. Anyway, this was done back, I think, in 2016.
This is the one that we dropped out of.
Yeah, President Obama supported it, never brought it to the Senate for a vote, but Trump said basically, we're not going to do that. It'll cost us a job, and it's counter-effective. Anyway, there's a 3-year waiting period before you can opt out. So this week, the U.S. will officially opt out of the Paris Climate Accord.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Also, while I was gone, I mean, on this show, Dancing with the Stars, Sean Spicer.
Oh, yeah.
What's that all about?
Dancing with the Stars. Oh, my gosh. My wife watches that show like religion. Let me tell you, this guy, Sean Spicer, former press secretary for was he the first one?
Yeah, he was the first one.
Yeah, the first
for
one.
7 months.
He had kind of a rocky start,
mm-hmm.
But I watch him, and he's just terrible. He's just
as a dancer.
As a dancer, but he's
that's what it's about.
He's entertaining. He truly is entertaining, and he's become the people's favorite. And
the judges are going nuts.
They are. They're saying, we try to get rid of you every week, but it's a vote show. The people out in Middle America, they watch this stuff.
Maybe even some coasties.
And I guarantee you that the people that support Trump are the ones that are dinging the phone and registering their vote for this guy. Now, toward the end, I think that vote goes away, and then the judges get to weigh in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, is he going to win it? Probably not. But last night, I'm on one TV watching, trying to writing down stuff for today, and Cindy's in the background. She's screaming, "Oh my God, he was the first one safe!" You know, they line up everybody and they play this dramatic music, and then
You win.
and the camera pans to each couple. You know,
Yeah.
who's the first one safe? Last night it was Sean Spicer and his partner. So, and after everybody's jaw dropped 2 feet.
And did he dance last night or?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. He's former Navy. What are they, the part timers? You know, the Navy. He wasn't a full time
Reservist.
Reservist. Thank you. Yeah, Ross would have weighed in if you hadn't helped me. He was a Navy reservist, I think, and they played some kind of a. I think they did Anchors Away or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, something like that. It was great though. He's in his Navy blues and he's spinning all over the stage. Anyway, it's fun.
He's always got a big smile on his face too.
He does. He's having a good time.
Yeah.
He said he comes out in the press and says it's really rigorous, and everybody to a person says that when they appear on that show, they all lose 20 pounds because they're working their keister off trying to learn moves for the next week. So anyway, good on him. So that's a good way to end the show on a light note like that. Best to Sean Spicer in his quest to become the eventual winner on Dancing with the Stars. So anyway, we always enjoy coming in substituting for Brian. Normally you see BKP on Friday with us on the All-Star panel. He will be back in studio this week at some point in time.
Give us the full details on Friday about
Give us the full details.
what happened in PA.
Exactly, and we'll see who wins all of these tightly contested races. Good luck to all the candidates. And let's see, Friday we will be back at our favorite wintering spot, Circuit World. Circuit World will be there with JR and Jeremy and the boys. Taking part in the All-Star panel, we'll have Jesse Barton from the
Cameron Hall.
Cameron Hall, thank you. I mean, I'm just trying to reel this stuff off from memory here, and I have.
And Doc Whaley.
I'm glad, and we'll have our Ask the Doc segment, our ever popular Ask the Doc segment. He will amaze us with his ability to
answer any and every question.
Everything you wanted to know about the medical community.
Yeah.
Ask the Doc.
Soup the nuts.
Send if you've got a question for Ask the Doc, send it to info@FYN. FYN, what is it, Sam? FYN. Say again? Thank you. Info@fetchernews.com. If you've got a related question that you always wanted to get answered by Dr. Whaley, send it and we will put it under consideration, and your question might be featured on the show on Friday. So,
but don't give us hangnails or stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's got to be something.
Give him something.
serious.
Give him something.
He needs
with
to
some
sink
challenge.
his teeth into it.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, Sam, thank you for doing what you do back there. We've enjoyed being here. Thank you, Brian, for letting us sit in your chair. Big shoes to fill. We hopefully gave out some things this morning that you didn't know. And again, don't take our word for it, folks. Get out there, check it out for yourself. Do the math, do the homework. Get on Google, look it up. Get some trusted sources out there, and you will be amazed at what's going on in the deep state. Anyway, good being with you.
Yep. Likewise.
Have a good rest of the week, everybody, and we'll see you on Friday at Circuit World. Take us out, Sam. Thank you.